Welcome to JS Sports Insiders. I'm Bob Wolfey. Today with us is Charles Gardner, the beat reporter for the Milwaukee Bucks. Charles, let me dial back a couple weeks ago to Bucks Media Day, which we attended. All was well on Bucks Media Day. USS Bucks was sailing smoothly. Now, there's been some injury talk. Andrew Bogut has said that his arm might not be 100% for the whole season. What's going on there?
Well, I think Andrew is expressing his frustration about maybe the progress he's had, especially with that right hand. And yesterday he expressed to me his frustration about not being able to really even take a volume of shots. Normally players like to get a number of shots after practice. He just hasn't been able to do that. He has been able to go through a lot of contact practice, which some people thought he would not do in early October.
Yeah.
So he's ahead in that sense. But I think he's a little frustrated, and also knowing that he's made a lot of progress. It's kind of a weird situation. But again, the Bucks are being very careful during the preseason about his playing time. He hasn't played yet in the first 3 games. And he told me he wants to play one of the 2 games this weekend, either in Memphis on Saturday or in Sioux Falls on Sunday. So he recognizes the need to get out there. But the Bucks, and certainly everyone in the NBA, saw Jonas Jerebko go down with a ruptured right Achilles in the first game against LeBron and Miami.
Yeah.
In that game, and he's out 6 months. And nobody wants to be the team that happens to. I had talked to Charlie Villanueva in Detroit the other night, and he was just, they're very upset about that, as you can imagine. There was a guy who was on the all-rookie team.
Okay, so the Bucks fans have to deal with the sort of ominous news about Bogut, or at least wait and see with him. What about the other injuries that have affected the team?
Well, I think maybe one of the injuries that's been, I don't know if you would say troubling, but John Selmans has yet to practice for the Bucks, and we all know what a key member he was of the team last year. So it's a sprained right knee. They believe he's going to be back, but again, he hasn't practiced yet. But it's not supposed to be a serious injury, but it could set him back a little bit early in the season. You might think. Corey Maggette is the other key guy, a newcomer. They want him learning the defensive sets. They want him learning the system. And pretty much he's been able to do that, even though he hasn't been able to go full go at practice until yesterday was his first one. And again, he hasn't played in a game yet. So there's a little frustration there. And then they had some players who were playing. Carlos Delfino, who played huge minutes in the first preseason game, partly because these other guys were hurt. And then he got stepped on his toe, and now he's out. So, and Larry Sanders and John Brockman suffered sprained ankles, but I don't think those aren't serious injuries. So they'll get those guys back fairly soon.
Okay, so starting in the regular season in a few weeks, all hands on deck? And if they're not, what does this all mean as the Bucks start this season where they want to get to the playoffs and win a series in the playoffs?
I think that's a good question. I'm not sure all hands will be on deck. I would say, if you're asking me to guess, Bogut will play in that opening game, and Salmons, I guess might be a question, but could be playing, and Maggette, you would think would be ready. He told me yesterday he thought he would be ready for the regular season opener. I think one thing Coach Scott Skiles is worried about is how prepared they will be. Mm-hmm. They might be there and in uniform, but are they really prepared and ready to go and have practiced as a unit together? That's his concern. But I think they will have most hands on deck, and that's something we're going to have to see, though, in the next 2 weeks. There are still 5 preseason games remaining.
Thanks, Charles. Join us again for another edition of JS Sports Insiders.